Hello, I am Alexander Quinn, Starseed Navigating the Light. Now, today we have a very special lady on. She has a lot of psychic abilities. She has all clair sense abilities switched on. She is also an admin of a very well-known group on Facebook. I think there's 90,000 members. It's called Acturians. It's one of the biggest Starseed groups on Facebook.
Really?
I think it's up there. Yeah, 90,000. Yeah, it's pretty big.
Wow,
Yeah,
I didn't know
and
that.
you go by the name of. And tell me if I get this wrong, because I'm trying to get this right. Arena Agatha Fuller.
Yes, Aurena Agate Fola. I'm German.
You're German. Okay. Well, I love Germans. I love German manufacturing. I like German cars. So, if they make cars as well as they make psychics, then we're on for a pretty decent show today. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. It's really hot. I'm in Mexico and I'm in Tulum. It's actually a major, huge vortex here. We have lots of cenotes. You just imagine it's like water running through the whole entire city here. It's like we have underwater channel systems. Yeah, it's huge.
Wow, that is crazy. Now, just tell me a little bit about because what inspired me to do this interview. Obviously, I knew of you, and I post on your page, but you do energy healing sessions online, and what you're very quick to do is it's an incredible talent. Not a lot of people could do it. Is you will simply, even over Skype or over session, but you can do it in a room too. You'll look at someone and they'll ask you a question, and source will come straight in, or you'll tap into ability and you go straight away with healing things, with the problems, and you'll go, well, the reason why your foot's hurting is because there's an emotional attachment, or there's this thing, or whatever. And I'm going to get into that. We're going to come to that, but I just want to start a little bit first on how you got into the whole thing. And how all the abilities kind of switched on. So, I mean, just wherever you want to start.
Yeah. Okay, like I'm Aurena Agate Fola. Aurena means the queen of fairies and the one who covers you in love. And Agate is, I got that name from my dad. And Agate means the good, beautiful person. It's a Greek name. It's like from Agathos. But Agate has a meaning like Argata, inner earth. It has agate, the stone. It has so many different meanings, and I just love that name, and my dad gave it to me. I'm German, half Sri Lankan. I'm born in Germany, in Bavaria, 1980. So I'm born in a very old-fashioned, old traditional, very conservative surrounding. Like my dad is born 1929. He's not anymore. And he used to be Sudeten German. That means he was from the Second World War. So he was like one of the people who had actually to flee from Czechoslovakia. And my mom, she is Sri Lankan. She can't hear and speak. And she traveled from Sri Lanka all the way to Germany with my dad, not knowing what's going to happen. We didn't have WhatsApp. We didn't have internet and all those funky things. So I always say my parents have a marriage made in heaven. And since they can't hear and speak, it was very special. And since my mom had a different skin color, don't ask, it was very difficult. And when I was born, I had those gifts. I like always had it. Like when I would play with my neighbor, and then we would just play games, I would tell him about castles and in the sky, and they hit the clouds, and then he would look at me and go to his parents, and then the next day he would come, you lied, we don't have such things like this. And I felt devastated. I felt terrible because I knew in my heart, I could see it, I knew it's true. And for me, it was real, but for them, they didn't know about places like Sri Lanka. They have Sigiriya and big temples in the mountains which reach the sky. So yeah, it was, I'm born with that. And I would even talk to God when I would go to the kindergarten. I was like, when they would talk in church, God was always there and he will always be. And I was like, yeah, I can feel that. I can imagine that. It's like that energy is just always there and it will always be. And I just imagined God is rebirthing himself. And the funny thing is, in the Hindu tradition, we have the rebirth, right? And when I was little, I would do yoga and no one taught me that. We didn't have yoga. At that time, it was like like people would say it's a sect if you would practice those things. So we didn't talk about it. And I didn't learn it. And I would even draw the swastika onto the walls at home. You know what children do? They're like, when they're naughty, they're not supposed to do it. And I would draw it everywhere. And I didn't know what it meant. Like only now I know I did yoga, and I was very connected to the Hindu tradition. I just didn't know it.
Yeah, I mean that's a fairly some of the commonalities that you're talking about are basically, yeah. I mean, I hear that a lot, especially with the indigos coming out now. They're like, "Wow, how do I do this?" And the parents are saying, "Well, you need to stick to the old ways and the religion." And the indigos are coming up, and they're like, they've got this stuff inbuilt. So it's, yeah. I mean, that's. I mean, you resonate very, very strongly. You're a multidimensional being. You've had a few other incarnations in other places, but the one that you famously are known for resonating with the most, and I have this part in myself too, is the actuarians. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, like I have this actuarian Facebook group, right? So like, let's say when I was little, like in school or in the kindergarten, I could feel and see the energies, and I knew how they thought about me, and that isolated me, because I mean, for them it was like, why is this so strange? But for me it was like, hey, I know what you think about me. I don't want to come close to you, right? So it's like, being psychic is, of course, it's a huge gift, but it has its burden because not everyone understands what's going on. So Arcturian group, I actually started doing it because I I don't know, people call it dark night of the soul. I just call it, in simple words, I was really sad. I was devastated. I was sad, and I felt lonely, and I cried. I was reading a book about the children who can walk through walls and who have psychic abilities. And I just knew that time, it's like many years ago, I just knew, okay, I have psychic abilities, and it's just the beginning. So if I have those gifts naturally, that means there's so much more, right? And then I cried. I really cried. And I was like, I want to meet my soul tribe. I just want to meet them. I want to know where they are. I don't want to feel alone anymore. And then I created that group. And the reason is, I had a dream. And in the dream, I have, like, a very typical for Arcturians is to have dreams, to see geometries, to have a lot of knowledge, which you're born to come here to spread it for humanity, to bring the new earth, like, you know. So I had a dream, and they always tell me stuff in the dreams. They show me stuff. And then there was an old man, like, you know, in the fairy tales, with a long beard. And I remember I had this dream, and he was sitting on a rock on the right side in the picture, and I was on the left side. And I looked at him, and he said, you know, Agatha, you're not just from Sirius, and you're not just from Venus, you're from Atrios. And I'm like, what art? Because it was in English, the dream. It's like, what's Atrios? So I started Googling, right? I was like, Atrios, maybe Atreus, maybe the unendless story, you know, with Foucault and the white dragon. I was like, no, that can't be. Then I started Googling about the star system. I couldn't find it. Then I was like, no, it's not like Atrios. It's like the house that they grow plants or something, right? I was like, no, that can't be. And then many years later, I found a German lady, and she was talking about the Arcturian. I was like, okay, I got it. So I'm also Arcturian. And then when I started the Facebook group, that's why I called it Arcturians.
Okay, got it. Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, the Acturian group is incredible. I mean, as I say, 90,000 members, and it's a very, some of the, I mean, what is so incredible about all these groups, before we get on to some of the healing that you do, is, let's just say, put a number on it. Let's say in the year 2012, roughly, because that's when there was a lot of awakening for a lot of people. I think 2020 has been a big one too, but let's just go back to 2012, because that's a nice marker in the sand. That's a nice, easy one. Around that time before 2012, there weren't all these Facebook groups like there are now. I mean, there was just a very, very small amount of them, and now they're just blossoming. There's so many, and they're growing and growing and growing. But also, what is really intriguing is, before, with all these Facebook groups, a lot of the people on these Facebook groups were like hippies or spiritual people or esoteric people. But now the really incredible thing with people all coming awake and becoming alive and, you know, all this kind of stuff is you're getting judges and lawyers and people who work in recruitment and office jobs and white collar people. So you're getting this breakthrough of all these people all coming on. And it's incredible because with a group like yours, you're starting to see that more and more and more. Now, what I want to touch on a little bit, which is quite amazing. I've seen you do this, and it blows me away when you do it. Is you do a live healing Facebook thing, and what happens is for people that don't know about this. Agatha basically opens up like a window. It's a live chat. You have guests from your group or wherever, and they're in there. And you say, right, I can do a reading for you or an energy tap. And what is fascinating to watch is people are saying, oh, I'm having this problem. It's a physical thing. It could be etheric, and then you're tapping in straight away. And that
They don't tell me anything. They message me and then I tell them what I see. I don't want any information because it makes it more authentic also for me.
Yeah. Can you tell us a bit more about that? How you do it, how it comes, some of the things you see, some of the things you feel, some of the examples as well.
Yeah. I feel like crying because when you say it's so special, for me it's normal, but then I always realize, hey, it's not normal. And it's like, it's true, it's not normal. I haven't met anyone like me. And I believe me, I travel a lot. Like I'm all over the world and I'm talking to so many people a day. So what it is, so I have this Facebook group and then I do a live stream, and everyone in the Facebook group who's online right now can see the live stream. So I have different topics. For me, it's not about the reading, and I really want to focus on that and embrace that because, see, it's good for you to get information, right? But if you have a problem and you have the information, it doesn't help you. So it's more important to bring the people into their own empowerment and to teach them how they can help themselves. How can you help yourself when you know who you are? So I will not do all those funky readings and find names and like go into really much details because I really focus on the healing. So what I do is I point out what I see so they understand what's going on. And then I tell them what I see, who they are, you know, and it helps everyone to break a cycle when you have understood who you are. That's more important because then you're free and you can do anything you feel like and you want to do. So you want to know how I do it, right?
Yeah, how you do it, but also how it happens. But give some examples because I was watching you doing it, and the people were going, "No, that is the real deal. Yes, you got it right." And you don't know these people, so yeah, if you could touch on that, that'd be lovely.
Yes. So what I do is, it's like I always say, I'm like a radio station. It's like, just imagine you're sitting in the car and you have so many frequencies you can tap into because you have so many radio stations, like, and each radio station stands for one human being. So what I do is I just tap into your frequency, but I always do it from my heart. Like I'm always connected with my heart. Like when people say, oh, they meditate and they sit down, meditation means you're connecting with your heart and you're in alignment with yourself and you're aware of what's going on. So all I do is, it's just an intention. I never ever get into your system. I just read. It's like kind of Akashic record reading. So I get the information, the energy from you. And the easier it is, like the better you breathe, because when you breathe, the energy flows, right? Like when you breathe, breathing is life, life is breathing. So I get the energy and I just read it. How do I read it? It's a certain frequency. Like when you're angry, there's a certain frequency. When you're full of love, there's a certain frequency. I'm able to read the energies. I feel them, I see them, I hear them. It's like I feel you, what's going on. It's like you would be inside of me, kind of.
And with what I've noticed you doing is, so I mean, do you have some examples or some of the questions that people ask you?
Actually, it's like I know the question. So when someone, like when I have a client and they book a session, like in Facebook, I do it free because I want them to learn, right? So it's always an explanation and different topics like implant removal or Akashic records will be the next one, and then holy geometry, which is connected to the chakras. What are the chakras, the meridians, all those things, because I studied a lot about the body, and it's very important for Starseeds to bring in the energy into the body to spread it on Earth. I forgot what the question was.
That's okay. No, I'm just saying.
The question,
Yeah.
what kind of questions there are. I usually know the questions, so I tell them. Yeah, or I tell them to ask themselves, to talk to their soul, so they learn it, and then they don't depend on me. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of star seeds are having these things called ascension symptoms. We all know what they are. If you don't, you can Google it, you can look it up. But a lot of people are having problems with these things. And do you have any some advice that you can give to people if they found like if they're having heart palpitations or stomach problems or headaches, or they're coming out of their body too much? You know, all these things. The energy is getting so high, but a lot of people can't handle it. Do you have any advice?
Yeah, I'm going through the same thing. I mean, don't think I'm not doing, of course, but the thing is, everything is vibration. Every sickness you can heal with love. If you're sick, it's a lack of love. So if you get sick, especially now the ascension, when the earth frequency is rising like really high, so the body has to cope with that high frequency, because that low energy in the body wants to be released. You start getting pain, you start getting headaches, you start showing some symptoms. But why is it? Because your body needs to be alkaline. What do you think they did in the pyramid? What do you think the priests and priestesses did when they were working with the herbs? Like the old witches, like the druids, they were working with herbs, but why did they do it? And no, I'm not talking about weed. I'm not talking about ayahuasca, because that is like the easy way out. You have an opening, you see stuff, and then they have depression and they feel worse after it. And then they need a herb, like that, whatever substance is, to get into a state of enlightenment. But enlightenment is something you can have always. So it's very important to clean and to detox your body, but also to understand and talk with your body what it wants to tell you if you have headache. Do you want an example, like when you have headache, what it could mean?
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's say you have a headache. That means, of course, what's the head? The head means you're very much into your head. What is the head? It's controlling. No, the head is not bad, but it should be integrated and connected with the heart. So when your soul is like, and your energy is more into your head, you have to bring it down. How do you bring it down? You go into the heart frequency. I tell people to go for a cold shower or go for a swim in nature, because nature is the best remedy. So what else do you have when you have headache? It is, when you look at the meridian system, it's very much connected to the stomach. When people have a very, very bad digestions and the body creates toxins, it goes up into your head. So the gallbladder meridian, which is lots of anger and fear, it's also headache. So those things can be a reason.
And what of other organs? Can you talk about some of the other organs and how they're connected and issues and things too?
Yeah, sure. Let's say the kidneys. The kidneys are connected to the second chakra, which is connected to the sexuality. The kidneys, we have two. It's a pair, which is connected to relationship. But the kidneys, it's also very strong when someone does black magic. And no, black magic is not a drama. It's just a lack of self-love. So you can heal and treat everything. So the kidneys have a yellow color, so you can flush the kidneys with yellow gold color. And if you have, it's also connected to the urinary bladder, so kidneys are cleansing. And if there's some family issue, karmic ties, bonds, it's all connected to the kidney.
Okay. And what of the, are there any other ones you'd like to talk about before we move on to the next thing, like the liver or the stomach problems?
Liver is actually awesome. In Germany, we have, say, mir kommt die Galle hoch. That means my gall bladder is coming up. It's like the liver is connected to anger, creativity. We have in the meridian tapping, it's called EDXTM or EFT. There are different techniques. You can tap the liver And then you can say, I'm allowing myself to be happy, to be lucky. I deserve the best. And the liver is really connected to being happy in life. It's also about detoxing. And the liver is a big major part when you are angry, then look
Mm.
into your liver meridian. It doesn't mean your organ is sick. It can be just the meridian is blocked. And the meridian stores all the emotions, all the trauma, whatever it's stored in your body. So if something happened to you in your childhood, like you had an accident and a yellow car was involved, and every time you see yellow now and you get stressed, but you don't know why, you can even do kinesiology and do a muscle test and figure out, hey, the color yellow stresses you because there was an accident which there was a yellow car involved. It's stored in our system, our body. I call it biorobotic body. It's like a computer. It stores so many
Mm.
information.
Now, regards of going back to the Arcturians, because I have a special place in my heart for them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you dream of them, contact them directly, or is it more just, or is it something else? Do you dream of being with them, or on a planet or anything like that?
It always depends on, like, if I want an information, I just tap into that energy and I get it. The thing is that I'm as I said, like multidimensional, interdimensional. I get, like, when I was in Hawaii, I got so many informations from the Pleiades, and now here in Mexico, I get a lot of downloads from Andromeda, and then we have the collective. So the Acturians, I think it's a major part of me because I incarnated from Arcturus coming to Earth, but actually my starseed origin is like Orion, which is connected to Egypt, and the male and female balance, like the twin flame energy. And I think the Acturians, they're being a big part of the shift here on Earth because we have a lot of new technology. We are incarnated master beings and we are very truthful. So we are playing a big major role. Like, look at Dolores Cannon, Edgar Casey, they spoke about the Acturians, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah.
regards downloads, can you expand on downloads? Because there's physical downloads, etheric downloads. Give us the download on downloads.
Recently, or do
Oh,
you want?
we just had an internet connection problem. Right, I'm going to ask that question
Okay.
again.
Yeah.
Okay, right, I'll ask that again. I'll edit that bit out.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So could you tell us, could you give us the download on downloads, how downloads are happening, how they're working, and
Mm-hmm.
with our DNA?
Yeah. Um, is it like you want me to tell how a download is, or what happens, or how can I get a download?
All three will work.
Okay. Okay, let me tell, like, when you get a download, you will have really, like, your body hurts. You get really tired. Like, I had times in my life, I swear, I don't know how I did it. I slept 6 months in a row for like every day, 12 to 14, 15 hours a day. And I was just sleeping, listening to music, going in nature, and having, I couldn't even eat. I was like living on smoothies. Like, my body was just, and I would have so many dreams. Like, I write those dreams down because they have lots of information. I would get a lot of, when I go somewhere, the animals, they talk to you, they appear, then you can Google what animal, like, I had recently a dream about a lot of orca whales. Like, I was swimming with hundreds of orca whales. So what is a whale? A whale has lots of wisdom, and it's said that the Pleiades used to bring the whales to Earth because they're helping Mother Gaia to keep the crystal grid. Few days ago, I had a dream about, or a vision. It wasn't even a dream. It was about the dragons. So all the dragons, like all of them, they came back to me, like they're embracing themselves through me. So you can have a vision, you can have see colors, you can listen to sound. Maybe you hear a sound, your body will react. But you can also, like, for me, I don't ask intentionally for downloads, but I know I'm a crystal grid worker. Like, I go to different parts of the world, and like even now I have crystals here with me, and I bring the crystal grid together and I activate it. And I remove the negative part of it, what happened, like the blocks. So a download, you can ask for it. I mean, if you want, we can do a trial for you if you like.
Sure, go for it.
Okay. Is there something special you have, like a wish? Otherwise, I just tap into it and then.
Just tap into anything. Just tap
And,
right in.
and you open your key with whatever I say and see, and then because what see, people always fear to be seen. Like, you know, like when they say in the social media world, they say, "Oh, you're being like a glass house." I'm not scared to be a glass house. If I'm good and if I do everything the way I feel is right, why should I be scared that someone sees me, right?
Sure, I totally agree. Tap
And
in, tap away.
yeah, and I just want to say that because for others out there, it's never bad to feel bad, and it's never bad to have issues because we feel ashamed of it, because society expects us to be perfect, but it's not about that. It's just be you, be honest.
Well,
Okay.
especially now, because as we're going into the higher energies, everything is coming up to the surface,
Yes,
and it
yes,
wants to get out. And that's what
yes.
a lot of starseeds need to, which are being very, very good at doing right now, is coming to the fore and basically saying, "Hey, I've got this thing. I need to bring it up. I need to bring it out. Could be this life, could be past lives, and get it out." Because that's what it's all about, and that is really, really important to be doing right now. Because holding all of that baggage is really going to slow you down, but it's going to start having effects on the body, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Exactly, big time. Because if we try to control something which wants to come up so that we can heal it, we call it shadow aspect. It's so important to embrace them and to bring light into it, because most of the times they're not even ours, they're from the ancestral lineage. So now talking about the ancestral lineage, I can see that in you, because I can look at the body, so I can see how your skin texture is, and then I can look in the aura and different like parts, even past lives or in like different galaxies. So now I'm tapping into your body because we want to bring in an energy. We need to release something old. So what we want to bring in is your own unique frequency. Like, I just want to explain something. Many starseeds are doing now Reiki, but the difference between you embracing yourself and living yourself and not doing a technique which everyone does, because it doesn't make you unique. You're just doing what everyone does. So it's very important to understand and to know that when you're a starseed, you have all the gifts and abilities, and they all look very different. And that creates, you know, one puzzle piece, and each puzzle piece creates a beautiful picture. We are a beautiful picture if you're being unique. So I can see for you, there's an ancestral trauma which is from your lineage. It comes from your father's side. I don't know, are you, I mean, we didn't talk much, but I think you're in UK, but you have some Scottish or Irish ancestors or something?
Absolutely correct. Very, very well done. I've never told you that before. I have Scottish and Irish. Yeah,
Yeah.
bang on so far.
So I get big time goosebumps. Okay. So there is a big like trauma from the war, and there is also some relation. I feel like crying. There's some relationships to the Kataras. The Kataras had the ability. They were very beautiful people. They were living a Christianity was very holy. Male and female had the same equal right. They were also about, they were able to do manifesting gold, but gold was like the wisdom, the knowledge, the dragon energy, the source energy, that is like you create your own life. People were always like, oh, when you can like how do you call it in English, when you create you know, those magicians when they do gold, there's a word for it.
Alchemists.
Alchemist, yes. So there's an alchemist in you, but an alchemist is not someone about material things. It's about the life you create, and you get abundance, which is gold when you create your life, because it comes from a place of abundance, right? I mean, who needs gold when you need something to eat? It's like,
Yeah.
um, so you have that energy in you. So what we do is, by speaking, that's why I actually avoid a lot of times talking to people, because automatically when I talk to them, I start healing, which sometimes totally sucks. So, okay, just keep breathing, close your eyes, breathe into your heart, and remember who you are, because that ancestral lineage is traumatized because from wars, from breaks, from like bringing people, like bringing twists into it, and backstepping. And you still have many times, sometimes this backstepping energy, in a sense that people come and you feel they want to backstab you, but they don't do it on purpose because they're good people. It's just they tap into your frequency, and then they don't have any other chance than to do this till you heal it, right? And sometimes you can feel it like on your heart and solar plexus chakra, and you feel it on your back. And sometimes it's like a pinch, like you feel a pinch, and it's like, and you think, oh, you tore a muscle, but actually it's the energy you feel. It's not the muscle. And that's an etheric cord which goes back to your ancestral lineage. So just think of it, and just any color you feel, any color you see, you just breathe it into your heart. It's very important, because you have a beautiful gift. You know, you are also a dragon person. Do you know that?
Yes, I did a regression with someone recently, and dragon did come up. Yeah, as a past life. Yeah.
So that wants to come back. It's like, you know, the Arthur, King Arthur and Merlin, all those, like, that's actually a big part of your life. I mean, there's a reason why you're in UK, right?
Yeah, probably highly likely. Yeah, I think Stonehenge, and
Exactly.
I mean, I love Stonehenge, but I think that was a portal.
Yeah, and Avebury has a lot of Mother Mary energy. UK is so amazing. So please breathe in that magenta pink flame energy. Just breathe it into your body. It might burn in your cells, because when when in church, okay, that's something very important, because for all of you, because whoever sees this is in the collective. If the church used to say, oh, you burn in hell because of the fire, but the Christ fire, the holy flame is a beautiful sacred flame which burns the negative stuff. And yes, it hurts, but it's not hell. It's actually something, it burns the old away, which doesn't belong to you. So you can create the phoenix out of the flame, and then you're being a new person, you know, the real you. So just integrate it and breathe that in, and see and tell me what you feel.
Okay, so it's like a purple magenta flame, yeah?
Yeah. And breathe it into your cells, and also between the cells, into your atoms, and between the atoms, because there's so much space between the atoms. Yeah, relax a little, just relax. Yeah. And just relax. Go more into your heart.
I feel like the aura is expanding very huge all of a sudden.
Yeah, and you should feel something like, breathe more into your heart, and go also more into your solar plexus. Yes. Go more into your lower body, breathe it in there.
I feel like my crown chakra is exploding.
Yes, and that's actually because you're one of the, I call them male of the new earth, new earth male generation, because it's not about being brave and fighting and hitting and, you know, and abusing and putting people down and controlling them. You have this beautiful Christ male energy, which is actually, you respect the woman, you will treat the child as the woman treats them, you will cook for the child, you will be there as the woman would do it. And that's the male energy.
Yes,
It's actually,
absolutely. I mean,
yeah.
of course, going into Aquarius, Pisces was a totally different era and a different energy. But Aquarius, of course, going into it's much more feminine energy, much more about compassion. Do you want to expand on Aquarius before we move on to the next section?
Pardon? What is with Aquarius?
The age of Aquarius, how the age of Aquarius is different from Pisces. So some people say we crossed that borderline in 2012,
Yes.
and now we're going into more feminine energies.
So, okay, just to finish the last one, a download is actually bringing your own soul parts back into your body. That's actually a download. Yeah. And those soul parts, they come from all kinds of dimensions, past lives, ancestor lineage. That's actually healing. Yeah, that's what it is. So coming to Pisces actually a very sensitive people, very spiritual people. But it was actually about, I feel, about being vulnerable and actually breaking the armor. And now Aquarius, it's like embracing the softness and showing your true self and meeting the soul tribe, helping together, being equal, being unique. And it's all about the truth. Now we have 21, 12. 2020, which is an amazing, beautiful, special alignment, like planetary alignment, which is connected to Giza, the pyramid, and which is connected to Sirius. And Sirius, we all know, it's teachers being connected to water. And what's so special about water? Water has the tendency, and it's so special. We have ice, which is hard. We have the steam, which is air, you can't see it. We have the liquid water, which can even, when it runs and flows down the stream, it can even deformate a stone. And a stone is like really hard, as we all know. Water has the quality when you're in the ocean or there's a lake and we have winter in the bottom, we have always 4 degrees Celsius, which means all the animals can live in the water. We come out of the water in the womb, like how do you call that water?
Yeah, it's like the womb juice.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah, so we come out of water. We are made of water. We need water, and water is storing information. Dr. Emoto, guys, please Google it. It's amazing. When you speak, when you feel, it goes into your water stream. It's a storage. You need to clear your water. You need to keep the frequency high. It's like this. It's all about learning that everything is energy. We speak the truth. We can reprogram ourselves, and we help each other. That's the time of Aquarius, the truth. And very important, the old memory of Atlantis and Lemuria is coming back.
Yeah, big time. I'm seeing that a lot. Yeah, a lot of people are coming, Mu and the Atlantises. And also the other thing about Atlantis that's very interesting is there seems to be one Lemuria, but there seem to be a couple of Atlantises. And I think sometimes people get mixed up on, well, I was on Atlantis. And I always say to them, well, which one? Because there were a few, but there was one Lemuria, one Mu. So I think that's always an important thing to not get mixed up. Is there anything you want to add to that?
Yes, especially Atlantis, like I travel a lot, as I said. So we have different dimensions. We have the Atlantis, which is underwater, which goes to inner earth, which is beautiful. We have the Atlantis, which is Portugal, Greece, Azoran, which is the continent between Africa, Europe, and America and South America. I'm here in Tulum. We have a big time Atlantean energy here, like all the caves, which is more related to inner earth. We have, when I was in Hawaii and Maui, they still have stories about it. They call it Io Valley, which the women were hiding, and there is only till today it's allowed that women are there and men are not welcome, because they used to have their children there, which is connected to inner earth. And they used to have, what they said, the last Atlantean and Lemurian war, and even they have that story here. So you can see it's like, it's not just one place, we have it all over the world.
Yeah. Talking about the world and the grids and the crystals, I do want to get onto that, but just something quickly I want to touch on. All the Starseeds are talking about this thing that's going to happen on late December, the solar flash. Do you have any thoughts and feelings on that? Because it seems to be pretty elusive, but people seem to think late December of 2020, there is going to be a solar flash.
I'm sorry. Like solar flash is like we have 3 days night, 3 days night, like this.
Well, like, I mean, there's a lot of, you get the Starseed mysticism and legend, the 3 days and the three days of darkness, the solar flash. I mean, the Starseeds eat this stuff up. There is quite possibly some grounding in this, of course, but I just wanted to see if you had antennas on this information.
Yeah, very much, and I will always do what I always do because I'm really good that way. We have the eye of the tornado, right? You can be in the tornado, you can be around the tornado, or you can be in the eye of the tornado. In the eye of the tornado, we all know there's peace. So I always say, tap into your heart frequency and you can create the dimension you want to step in. So what is very special about 21 December 2020 is you have the free will to tap into the dimension you want to be in. If you want to have war, you can have war. If you want to have peace, you can have peace. Like 2012, I will never forget that, because my dad passed away that year. And I went to Sri Lanka, and I was in Nurelia. I was like on the fields and praying and doing my rituals. And the whole world was like, the world is going down. We're going to die. And some people even killed themselves. What? Why would you do that? Because you live in fear. So what is so special about the solar flesh, or whatever you want to call it? It's, we are preparing ourselves to step into our true selves. So we are aligning ourselves with Earth and the universe and everything else. And it just helps you to step. Have you read the book Celestine by James Redfield? Have you read it?
I haven't.
Okay, guys out there, please read it. It's one of the best books ever. That's how my life is. He just talks about that, the Mayan culture. It just disappeared all of a sudden. I went to the ruins here in Koba, and then my friend Carlos said, they just disappeared and no one knew. But you know what? I was there and I was feeling, hey, there's some density in the air. It's like, it's weird. Because it's like, what about spirits? What about the ghosts? What about the fairies? Why can't we see them? Because we're not tapping into their frequency. So we have the chance to increase our frequency to live on a really high vibration. That means we are more transparent. But the people who live in fear, they won't even notice us anymore. There's just one big, I really want to share that, okay? Like, when was that, when all the Syrian people, they like the Syrian, like from like Tunisia and stuff, when they came to Europe, was it last year, 2 years ago, or 3 years ago? When was that?
I can't remember.
Okay. So what happened is, like, in the radio and everywhere, they said, oh, there's so many, there are like hundreds of thousands of people at the Munich train station. I was there, I didn't see anyone. And I was like, where are they? And then people would say, oh, they're everywhere. And I never saw them. And that was because I'm just in a different frequency. I have been in Sri Lanka where there was war. And next to me, there were like bombs coming up. But I was safe because I was tapping into that frequency, So it's just showing us that we have a choice, and it's just helping us. You know what? Okay, you can make a choice now. You can either ascend or you can descend.
Yeah. I mean, Dolores Cannon, I always bring Dolores Cannon up, but she famously said that it would be like oil and water. So the oil and the water would be going like this, kind of like in basic terms, 3D people here, and in basic terms, 5D people here. But what I do notice, and I've seen other people talk about this, is the higher your frequency goes, there are certain people, and I've seen this before, when there are people who are very low frequency, it's like they almost don't see you too, because you're almost in other dimensions.
Yes.
So sometimes I will seem invisible in certain circles of people, like almost completely invisible.
Yes, I love dancing. When I used to go to the nightclubs for dancing, people would just run into me because they couldn't see me anymore. And once I cried, I was like, what's going on? And then I spoke to a friend and she said, your vibration is so high, they can't see you. They just run into you. I swear, it's true. Yes. Yes.
Now, regards, I want to touch on the crystalline grids and the crystals of the earth.
Yay! Wait, I got some crystals. Wait, I showed them. Okay, here. Da, 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 da.
Ah, fantastic. Now, I have an absolute huge crystal collection. And a couple of times a year, I go to Glastonbury, which is Mother Gaia's heart chakra, I believe. They have incredible crystal shops. They're absolutely mind-blowing.
I got my aqua aura from there. It's so beautiful, so powerful. I love aqua aura.
Yeah, I have aqua aura as well. I think it's quartz infused with gold, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, it's gorgeous.
Special. Yes, it's a quartz crystal infused with gold steam. Yeah.
Now, tell us about the crystals. Tell us about your favorite crystals, how you use them, what you like, and then also on top, tell us about the crystalline grid, because the crystalline grid is changing, it's morphing, and I'll let you go from there.
Okay, I don't have a favorite crystal. I just love them all, and it's so important. There are beings. They are alive. So please, whoever has crystals, be kind, be loving to them. They're beings, they're alive, they help you, okay? Crystals have a major ability. They're actually either meteorites. I have a beautiful, like a friend of mine, he gifted that to me, a meteorite which is full of iron. It has like like shape of like 8, like an octagon, I think it's called. So when you look into the crystals, they have beautiful different shapes, and because it's like a Metatron cube, right? Like, um, you know, there's one guy, I forgot his name, he says the Merkaba is around us, and that's when we shift. The Merkaba is in us. We are the crystal. We are, I mean, look at us, the atoms, we are made of minerals and water. What are we? We are water, we are crystal, we are huge crystal. So when we work with the crystal grid, the crystals, those crystals, they help us. Because like, let's see, the clear quartz is very good for the crown chakra because white has all the rainbow colors, which is our chakra system, right? So the clear quartz is very strong. It's like also like the lithium crystals kind of, right? So this one is very good for bringing structure, clearing your thoughts, helping you to be strong from inside and be pure and having pure thoughts. So when you work with crystals, you can work with the chakra system. It helps you emotionally, mentally, and you can use them on your body, right? It helps with the electromagnetic field. So we are energy. Now let's step into the crystal grid on Earth. We have one on the Earth like meridians, and we have one in the atmosphere. So the dragon energy, we are dragons, we love crystals, and what we do is we activate the ley lines, we help to remove the old stuff, we help to increase the vibration and bring the dragon ley lines back to Earth, so that when the crystal grid it's like a protection shield, and when it's functioning, the Earth vibration, we can like, evolve into new Earth. So the dragon energy is really helping a lot with that, because the dragons are the only beings, I think they are the only beings which can travel interdimensional. They can go through portals, they can go from one dimension to another galaxy, and like throughout, like different dimensions, different galaxy, they can just travel anywhere. They can go to inner Earth, you find them, water, fire, earth, you find them everywhere. So the dragons are beautiful big creators, and they're just protecting the ley line. Did I answer your question?
Yes, fantastic. Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I one question I've always wondered is who put the crystalline grid on Earth? Because the Chinese call them the dragon lines, the dragon energy, and I've heard people talk about that reptilians put it on, but I think
No.
a lot of people talking about dragon energy. It might have been the Elohim.
To be honest, I don't go into so many details, because I feel if something is good, when someone loves you, will you say, like, yes, people do that, it's a tendency. Why does he love me? Well, why can't you just enjoy that a person loves you when they love you, and just enjoy it and just be happy about it? The crystal grid is never ever bad. I mean, the crystal grid is actually, that's why the church blocked those, like they put churches on oak trees, on the Celtic temples, they put churches on the entrance of inner Earth, like when you go to the mountains, you will find churches on entrance to inner Earth. They have blocked of them because the ley lines are helping us, and the universe is full of energy, everything is vibration. So the ley lines is just a huge grid of high vibrant energy. It's like, I mean, if you have energy, it's like you see their waves. So it's just, how do I say? I mean, you have tiny flowers and you have big flowers, right? So for me, the ley lines is just an expansion of the frequency, right? Which it's like holding things together, bringing things together, but at the same time giving space. Like we have the atoms. So a ley line is just kind of a lot of atoms, but we have space between the atoms, So I see it from a scientific way, and I don't believe in all this, oh, they created moon to do this. I mean, come on, please. I mean, give me a break. If you just, I mean, I always say use your common sense, right? I mean, you have a brain, please use it. Don't believe everything someone says. Look at the moon and look at the old cultures. They were worshipping the moon and saying, La Luna, the mother, the moon, right? She is the female. How can she be bad? How can the moon be bad and artificial? I mean, and even if it's a satellite and it's got created, there's something special about it. I love the moon and I love sitting on full moon outside and I just love watching it. I don't want to judge those things because if I judge nature around me, I'll judge myself. Why should I do that? We're
Absolutely not.
judging ourselves already enough and we're suffering already enough. You know, it's like flat earth, this earth. I mean, are you flat? If you look at an apple, is the apple flat? Have you seen a flat fruit? I mean, inside, outside, right? What's up, what's down? Like, I mean, you know?
Mm, absolutely, I totally agree. The question that I most asked by people who come to me is, what are the best stones and crystals for anxiety and
Mhm.
fear?
Okay, now when you have anxiety and fear, I always say you can't generalize that because the fear can come for different reasons. It can come from your ancestral lineage, as we spoke before. It can come from an accident, which is like, let's say, okay, I talk about myself. Okay, I was in Hawaii on Big Island. Now, on Big Island, there's nothing which is dangerous. Nothing. No animal, no creature, nothing. You have like funny mongoose. They're funny. They run around, and you have dogs, and that's like it. You don't even have squirrels. You don't have deer. Nothing. But you have a really fungus, but like a weird, funny bacteria, which is like in the grass and on the fruits. So you can't even eat them because it's like dangerous, right? So you have this hidden, like, it's like you want to walk barefoot, but you know you can't because there's this bacteria. So it created really like kind of phobia in me because when I came here, I was like, okay, I can walk barefoot now. It's all okay. You can walk. Like, I was like detaching from Mother Earth, which was like psychology, I call them a brain because it's like, so I just had to train myself. And I mean, I used then rose quartz, right? Because it's for my heart chakra, like to be in my body. But um, fear can also come because you don't feel protected. So you use obsidian or tourmaline. But if you have a fear of someone breaks your heart, you use rose quartz. If you have like what I had, so I was using a lot of selenite and agate, which is like bringing like more the grounding. So it depends on, you know, you should always listen to your feeling, like which color is comes strongly to you, and you just follow that and just enjoy that. When you go to a crystal store, you can, you know, actually, when you talk to your spirit guide, they will even sometimes you will go and sit in a train station. All of a sudden, people talk about, you know what? I bought myself an amethyst. Google it. Google amethyst. Look up what's the meaning, and then get yourself one. You will get everything you need. Always, always,
Yeah.
always.
Okay. One thing I want to touch on today, because it's so critical at the moment, and people are talking about it more than ever, is shadow work. And but what are your thoughts and feeling on shadow work?
It's very important. I do a lot of shadow work. Like I like when I work with clients, I just go straight to the point and say, okay, this is what I see. And they say, no, but it's something very deep and very hidden, which you don't want. It's like, this is something you want to suppress. And you say, no, I'm never jealous. Why would I be jealous? I'm so spiritual. Everything is love and light. What? No, I'm angry. I can get angry. When I get mad, oh, you don't want to see me when I get mad. But I get mad for a reason because someone is overstepping my boundaries. I get mad when something happens and it comes up because sometimes I get it from someone else. Like it's not even my anger. And if I would suppress it, I wouldn't even find out it's someone else's. It's not mine. I mean, starseeds, we are empaths. We feel like everything. Ugh, you know,
Mm.
I mean, if you try to suppress it, do the shadow work, look into it, find out, is it yours, is it someone else's? And if it's from your ancestor lineage, you can heal that and release that. And then again, you have more space for yourself and you can love yourself more again.
Mm. And what is the best way to heal ancestral issues or traumas? Is there a one way, or is it not a type of generalization that one could just stamp on that?
Okay, so what I will do is I will give some information about techniques and stuff you can do, and I will explain for a bit which one you can use as a starseed and which one you should not use so much. Starseeds are very much about love and heart frequency. It's very important for us, and it's very important for us always to work with someone who's a starseed as well, because when you work with someone who's maybe like, stupid, this categorization. An indigo can become a starseed. A starseed become like a rainbow child. It's an evolution, right? So, but when you work with someone who's very much like who learns just techniques, you will suffer more because that person has a low vibration. He is using a technique onto you and not seeing your uniqueness. So we have, if you want to heal ancestor lineage, kinesiology is awesome. But you can work with someone who does Akashic records or like just with a starseed, because they just see the energy and they will tell you what they see. We have something like Bernd Hellinger, which did family constellation. It was a huge evolution in the spiritual scene, but I don't recommend it for starseeds at all, because if you have a high frequency and you tap into the collective with all the people around you, you sometimes even end up suffering because you're getting the burden from the others as well. So it's very important that you always work with someone who has psychic abilities and who is also clean. And when I say clean, they look after their body, they live healthy, they do their cleaning as well. How can I tell you to take a shower and tell you how you smell when I'm like covered in mud? It doesn't work like that, right? We have to be honest and authentic. It's very important that people don't, like when you work with a healer who doesn't do drugs, no weed, no ayahuasca, because their chakras are open and they attract entities and they can just jump to you when you have a higher vibration. Like when I go to a place, I have sometimes entities attached to me because they just wanna, they're not bad, never ever. They just wanna be healed and released, they wanna go home. So what do? They go like a mosquito or moth, they go to the light because they wanna help, they want help, they wanna see what's going on. Yeah.
Absolutely. And is that why a lot of people are seeing shadow entities in the corner of their eyes? Because would that be part of it?
Yeah. Yeah. Like when I came here the first few days, like this place is full of like shamans and they do all sorts of stuff and just to make money. There are a lot of entities, like different places, and they just want to be released. They just want to go home. And when
Yeah.
people say, "Oh, there's a possession and there's a demon," remember always, a demon comes from love, as we all do. We all come from one source, and duality is just the mind and the heart, which we need to bring in balance. So a demon is a being which forgot who they are, that they came from love and light, and they want our help. And in black magic, they misuse demons a lot. Like they tell them, hey, I help you, but you have to do this and that. And of course, if you're suffering and I tell you I can help you, you would do anything to do that for me, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
never ever forget like where we come from.
And going forward, I mean, I've pretty much run through some of the main questions I had for you. But going forward, what is your main message to people that are waking up, starseeds that are going through issues at the moment, things to look for, things to do going forward into the end of 2020, going into next year and the world?
Yeah, I always say, um, don't do the shortcut, do the healing. Please do the proper healing. Look into the things. Don't just use some substances to get enlightenment. You can't buy enlightenment, never ever. You are enlightened. You just have to remember. And how do you remember? When you heal. So please look for someone who can help you. I also have people who help me. Okay, that's how it works. And yes, I do pay money for it because it's the value I pay for myself, and money is energy. Because some people say, oh, how can a healer ask for money? Why not? It's the same way if you repair and fix something, you're charging for that, right? So
Absolutely.
this is something which, because I noticed when people get something for free, they don't have the value. And then the healers get drained. So please look into those things. It's very important. Nature has everything. She's the best mother. She's the best pure Father Heaven. He has everything. Go into nature, go for walks, go for swim, eat healthy, use herbs, make sure you drink good water, energize your water, and bless your word, bless your work, bless yourself, and you are blessing for others.
Okay, fantastic. Now, and also, shall I put your links down below so people can contact you for sessions and things like that? Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much. Thank you for
Okay,
that
lovely.
opportunity.
Yeah, so all the links will be down below, and it's been so much fun. It's been a very beautiful session with you. What have you got there?
That's a beautiful shell I got from Hawaii, from a kahuna there. And the people who have the shell and they blow the shell, like in the temples, they do that because those are the ones who have a message to tell. Sometimes it works. I just try it, okay? And I got
Try
this.
now. Try now.
Okay. Wait.
Wow, it makes quite a loud noise, doesn't it?
And this one, actually, you do that to call the ancestors.
Oh,
and
really?
just to say that you can see okay, there's a very beautiful ritual, which it's always intention. I even have a meditation about that, and they do that in the family constellation, but I use it for people to do it in nature and not with others, because nature is pure, she cleans you. And so you can just call your ancestors and you say, whatever burden I took onto me because we want to be loved, I give it back to you. And all the tears and the suffering, all the tears you shared and you cried, I'm giving it back to you. And I say thank you. And I receive the blessings. And because I walk my path, I know I receive all the love and the blessings from you. And I'm integrating all the gifts back into my life now. And then you breathe into your heart. And you can even take a stone and a crystal, which you don't need anymore, which you gladly give back to earth. And you put from the heart chakra, the heart, the arm is an extension of your heart. Put all the negative energies into the crystal and give it back to earth. You can put it into a stream, into a river or ocean or lake, and Mother Earth will transform it because she can do it best. Yeah. So this is something, there's so many, it's like just bringing everything together, the crystal, the ancestors, the healing, and then bringing back in what you are.
Absolutely. I mean, there is so much help that we can get, absolutely, as you just said. I mean, I was actually listening to Daniel, one of Daniel Scratton's channel messages from the Arcturians.
Yeah.
You know Daniel Scratton?
Yeah.
He channels the Arcturians, and he does this kind of Arcturian dance. Goes like this.
Okay.
He does that. For those of you who don't know Daniel Scratton, you'll just have to go and look him up and you'll see it. But the Arcturians come through. What they were saying recently, just before I finish up, is we have so much help. We have our angelic and our angels who are here to help. We have our ET star family that are here to help. We have the ascended masters that are here to help. You have your soul guides that are here. You have your ancestors that are here to help. You have Mother Gaia that is here to help. All you have to do,
the nature beings.
Absolutely. All you have to do is tap into it and vocally ask for the help. Put the intention out there. Invite Gaia in. Invite these energies in, and then they will come in. There's so much help. And if not, just ask them all and see what happens. Maybe.
Yeah. There's a saying in Germany: Wenn du einmal denkst, es geht nicht mehr, kommt von irgendwo ein Lichtlein her. That's like an affirmation I use, and that means when you think nothing works out anymore, there's a light which comes from somewhere, always.
That's very, very beautiful. It's been a real joy talking to you. It's been a lot of fun. You're a very beautiful soul. And I can't wait to get this up on YouTube. It's been lovely. And you probably got about 50,000 comments that you probably have to click okay on your Arcturian group now. But thanks for doing this. And it's been a lot of fun.
And I mean, you please also put your website or link or whatever and just send it to me, because I would love to upload it on my YouTube channel and in my Facebook group. And you can also post, I mean, come on, also just write what you do and who you are, and please.
Absolutely. Yeah, I will sort that all out, and I'll message you about that whole stuff.
Do you feel different now? Your energy changed a lot after you like that uh, download.
Yeah, yeah, I
It's
think
like,
so.
wow, you have such a beautiful energy. I hope you know who you are.
Yeah, well, I think we're all coming into who we are and who not. But yeah, I definitely feel very very alive when we had that moment. I was breathing in that magenta
Yeah,
and the violet flame. Yeah, the violet flame. Very 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 good stuff. I want to
yeah.
finish up with namaste,
Okay, okay.
and the God in me greets the God in you, and thanks
Yeah,
for coming.
yeah. Bye.
Ciao.